Jeffrey Epstein was a name that many associated with immense wealth and influential connections. He moved in powerful circles, a financier who seemed to know everyone who mattered in high society. His life appeared to be one of luxury, with private islands and grand residences across the globe. However, behind this facade of respectability, a truly dark and disturbing reality was lurking. This hidden world would eventually come to light, shocking people everywhere, and raising serious questions about the company he kept, and the system that allowed his activities to continue for so long. The story of Jeffrey Epstein is indeed a chilling account of power abused in the most terrible ways imaginable. Epstein's crimes were truly shocking and deeply disturbing to the core. He was arrested in 2019 for running an extensive sex trafficking ring. His victims were mostly underage girls, some as young as 14 years old, lured into his web of abuse. This was not a matter of isolated incidents but a systematic operation spanning many years and multiple locations. Following his arrest, while awaiting trial in a New York jail, Epstein was found dead in his cell. The official cause of death was ruled a suicide, but this conclusion was, and still is, widely questioned by many, fueling numerous theories about what truly happened to him. His death meant he would never face his accusers in a full trial. The public interest in the Jeffrey Epstein case has been immense and sustained for several valid reasons. Firstly, the sheer depravity of his crimes against children naturally caused widespread horror and outrage among ordinary people. Secondly, the persistent reports and suggestions of involvement or association of many powerful and famous individuals from various fields like politics, business, academia, and even royalty made this a very big issue. People across the world wanted to know the full extent of his network. They were asking who knew about his criminal activities and who might have participated or turned a blind eye to such terrible goings-on. This intense public scrutiny and the demand for answers have not faded with time. In fact, the quest for the complete truth behind Jeffrey Epstein's operations and his extensive network of associates continues with great fervor. There are so many questions that still linger in the air, unanswered and troubling. For the victims, and for a public hungry for justice and accountability, the case is far from being closed. The shadows cast by Epstein's actions are long, and the search for full disclosure remains a significant ongoing concern for many who believe that the full story is yet to be told to the world. So, what exactly are these Epstein files that everyone is talking about so much? In simple terms, they are a vast collection of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein and his affairs. These are not just random papers, they are official records that have been gathered from various legal proceedings. This includes documents from lawsuits filed by his victims, evidence collected during criminal investigations, and materials from court cases that took place over the years. Think of it as a large, complex puzzle, where each document is a piece that could potentially reveal more about his dark operations and the people connected to him. These files are seen as crucial for understanding the whole picture. The contents of the Epstein files are quite diverse and extensive, offering different kinds of insights. They include detailed flight logs from his private aeroplanes, often dubbed the Lolita Express, which could show who traveled with him and to where. There are also financial records, which might trace the flow of money and reveal how his trafficking network was funded, or who benefited financially. Perhaps most importantly, the files contain harrowing testimonies from his victims, detailing the abuse they suffered. Furthermore, there are depositions, which are sworn out-of-court testimonies from various individuals questioned in relation to Epstein and his activities, including his associates and employees. The importance of these files cannot be overstated truly. They are considered highly significant because they hold the potential to expose the full extent of Epstein's criminal enterprise and, crucially, to implicate powerful individuals who may have been involved or complicit. These individuals could span across various influential sectors, including top politicians, major business leaders, prominent figures in the entertainment industry, and even members of royal families from other countries. The files are therefore seen as a key to unlocking a hidden world of abuse and corruption that operated under the protection of wealth and influence for far too long, many believe. Consequently, there is a tremendous amount of hope tied to the full release and unsealing of these documents. Many people, especially the brave survivors of Epstein's abuse, are wanting to see justice finally being served. They believe that these files could be the very key to achieving that. By making all the information public, the hope is that the complete network of individuals who enabled, participated in, or covered up Epstein's heinous crimes can be fully uncovered and held accountable for their actions. This is why the public demand for transparency regarding these files remains so incredibly strong and persistent. In recent times, there have been some releases of documents from the Epstein files, creating a lot of buzz. For instance, in 2024, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the declassification of some files. There have been further trickles of information and document dumps into 2025 as well. Each announcement of a release brought with it a wave of anticipation from the public and media, who were hoping for major breakthroughs and revelations. People were expecting to finally get some concrete answers and see new names of powerful individuals being exposed. However, the outcome of these releases has largely been a source of considerable letdown for many. The widespread disappointment stems from what these released files actually contained, or rather, what they did not contain. A significant portion of the documents turned out to be materials that were already in the public domain, having been released previously. Many other documents were heavily redacted, meaning large sections of text were blacked out, obscuring names and crucial details. As a result, there were no major new allegations or shocking revelations about Epstein's associates that people were hoping for. This lack of new, substantive information has left many feeling that the process is more about appearances than genuine transparency, which is quite disheartening. This situation has naturally led to strong accusations being leveled against various institutions, particularly regarding the handling of these sensitive documents. For example, as of March 2025, Attorney General Bondi had accused the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, of withholding thousands of pages of Epstein-related documents and publicly demanded their immediate release. It is still unclear if the FBI fully complied with this demand. Several lawmakers, including Representative Anna Paulina Luna and Representative Eric Swalwell, have also voiced their deep frustration and criticized the lack of transparency, describing the entire process of releasing these files as unprofessional and deeply disappointing for everyone involved. The overall impact of this lack of transparency and the heavily redacted nature of the released files has been quite damaging to public trust. When crucial information related to such a high-profile case, potentially involving very powerful people, appears to be deliberately hidden or obscured, it naturally makes people upset and suspicious. It creates a strong perception that the full story is being suppressed, perhaps to protect influential individuals. This feeling is particularly acute because the case involves such serious crimes against vulnerable young girls, and justice demands complete openness, not a series of blacked-out pages and recycled information. It is a well-known fact that secrecy and a lack of clear information often create a fertile ground for rumors and conspiracy theories to grow, and the Epstein case is no exception. The infamous Epstein list, a rumored document supposedly naming all high-profile individuals involved with Epstein, has been a subject of intense internet speculation for years now. However, investigative journalists like myself, who have deeply looked into this matter, have largely dismissed its existence as a myth, or at least not in the consolidated, damning form that many imagine. But because so much official information remains hidden or redacted, people tend to believe these theories more readily. Several high-profile individuals have indeed been named in various court documents or flight logs associated with Jeffrey Epstein. These include names like former U.S. President Bill Clinton, Britain's Prince Andrew, and even former U.S. President Donald Trump. It is very important to note, however, that simply being named in a flight log or a court document does not automatically imply guilt or involvement in Epstein's crimes. For instance, Mr. Clinton has denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes, while Prince Andrew settled a civil case brought by an Epstein victim. Mr. Trump was named in flight logs, but no evidence has linked him to the crimes. Context is crucial here. The ongoing saga of the Epstein files has also seen them being used as a political weapon, unfortunately. For example, in the heated political climate of June 2025, there were unfounded suggestions from figures like Elon Musk, implying that President Trump might appear in unreleased government-held Epstein files. This illustrates how the vacuum of concrete facts and the slow, redacted release of information can be exploited for political point scoring. Meanwhile, the genuine public demand for full disclosure and complete transparency remains extremely high, as people want facts, not politically motivated speculation or carefully curated releases that reveal very little. As we stand in June 2025, the search for the complete truth about Jeffrey Epstein and his network is still very much ongoing. Despite some document releases, no significant new revelations have been made public that fundamentally change our understanding or expose a wider ring of powerful culprits in a definitive way. A great many questions remain unanswered, and the public, especially the victims, are still demanding full accountability. The Epstein saga continues to serve as a stark and disturbing reminder of how power, money, and abuse can intertwine, and highlights the immense challenges faced in the relentless fight for truth and justice when powerful interests are potentially at stake.